All right, so I'm filming this on my phone. It's something that I just witnessed and I want to talk to you guys about it. A girl got beat up by her boyfriend at a party that I was at right now. And I'm not only pissed about that. I'm pissed off about what happened with everybody at the party, that nobody wanted to say anything. And this is a stupid situation that happens all the time to people that they don't want to, rat out their friend or rat out their boyfriend or whatever the case is, and it's not okay. So I wanted to talk to you guys about what happened and how I felt about it, and how I think this is a problem that needs to be addressed and hopefully get corrected. So let's start off with what happened. So we're at a party and it's about 2:30 in the morning, which is probably not too long ago. I just left like maybe 45 minutes ago, and everybody's having a good time. We've been partying throughout the entire night. We're all hanging out, good vibes. Again, it's about 2:30 in the morning, and my camera is moving away from me. Let me fix that. Okay, so we're all hanging out. There's this couple that's there, that was there throughout the party, and for a while we didn't see the girl. The guy was in and out of the area here and there, but the girl was gone. I thought she left. While we're all in one of the rooms, like dancing and hanging out, I'm sitting down on some couch because I'm already getting a little tired. The girl who in that couple came in with with another girl, like bringing her in, and they sat her right next to me on the couch, and they said, "Hey, take care of her. We're gonna get some napkins." So I'm kind of just like laid back, like tired, and I kind of just like look over here. The girl was like bloody. Her whole face is bloody, especially from her nose area. And I'm like, oh snaps, like what happened? And my initial thought was, because a lot of people were drinking at the party, I thought maybe she had been drinking a lot. She was drunk, and she maybe fell and like hit her face. Like that's the only thought I had of what could have happened, because everybody at the party was getting along. Everybody had good vibes. It was really fun. So I was like, oh snaps, while the other people went to get napkins, I said, hey, are you okay? What happened? Or did you fall? And then she kind of just like ignored me. And then the more I looked at her, the more I saw how beat up she was. So I was like, what the hell? So I got a little closer to her. I was like, hey, like, are you okay? Did you fall or did someone hit you? And she didn't say anything. And so when someone doesn't answer that kind of question, if they fell, they'll just say they fell, So I was like, okay. I got a little closer to her. I said, hey, what's going on? Did someone hit you? And but at this same time, her boyfriend, who I didn't know was her boyfriend at the time, but this guy that was there was outside in the backyard, and some friends were talking to him, and it just seemed like a very tense, hostile situation. I didn't really know what was going on, but just reading the vibes, reading the girl, it seemed like that was the situation. He hit her, and that's why she was all bloody. So I asked her, like, hey, like, did he hit you? If he hit you, like, I'll call the cops right now. Rewind that back. I asked her again, did he hit you? And she did this. Like, she looked at me and did this. And so then I said, hey, do you want me to call the cops? And she didn't answer. And then I got a little closer to her and I said, hey, like, this is not okay. If he hits you, like, I'll call the cops for you right now. You're safe in here, don't worry. And she was like, no, don't call the cops. And so off the bat, I was like, wait, what? And I had a feeling this was going to be the case for some reason, because if she came back into the party, they were both there. Like, I had this vibe that it wasn't going to happen. So I was talking to the other people there in the room, like, hey, like, he beat her, he hit her, whatever. Like, we need to call the cops. She said no. And I was like, damn, like, what the hell? So, like, in my mind, I'm kind of conflicted. Like, I know I should call the cops because this girl got beat up, but she's saying don't call the cops, and it's her boyfriend who hit her. Like, if she's okay with it, should I allow it? But I'm not okay with that happening at all. So I was like, no, we need to call the cops. So I said this out loud just to, I guess, to reassure myself of my decision. And everybody started contesting me. Everybody was saying, no, don't call the cops. Like, I was like, what? Why? They were giving stupid excuses that I disagree with. Like, that's their business. Let them handle it. Like, she doesn't want to call the cops. Don't call the cops. Like, I don't know if they had things going on at the party that they shouldn't have. They don't want cops in their area, or they don't want, like, to deal with cops outside. I don't know what, but they just kept giving me like these stupid, like, reasons to let it be. And for a moment, I'm thinking, like, okay, like, I guess you know, but I was still furious. I was mad because I'm not okay with any type of violence towards anybody. So I was like no, like we have to call the cops. We got to call the cops. And I was, you know, I got my phone out, and then people again like, no, don't call the cops, blah 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 blah. And it just started to piss me off more because I'm like, what the hell? Like, this girl's bleeding. Yeah, you guys are trying to help take care of her, but this dude's outside and like he hit her, and like that's kind of okay. Like, to people, what the hell? Like, by them being quiet or them kind of just being passive about it, to me it's like that's okay. And then like one of the dudes chimes in, I guess one of his friends, and he's like, oh man, he only gets wild when he's drunk, man. When he's not drunk, he's like the coolest person ever. But when he gets drunk, man, he does stupid stuff. He acts wild, and you know he won't even remember in the morning. And he said something along the lines about like, yeah, you know, we ask him like, hey, do you remember hitting your girl yesterday? He'll say, no, I don't remember. And they kind of like played it off as like this thing that obviously insinuates that it's happened before, and saying that he won't remember, so because he was drunk, like, you know, he's not the same person, so, but tomorrow when he wakes up, he'll be fine and he won't hit her, blah, blah, blah. That type of vibe, screw that. Like, that's, no. So I said, well, no, like, especially if he's done it before, like, he needs to face the consequences of his actions. This is not okay. Shouldn't be, like, staying quiet and letting it happen. And so I'm like, I get the phone out and I'm like trying to call the cops. And again, like, everybody starts kind of like calming me, like, not calming me down really, but just like, hey, like, just let it be. Just, you know, that's their situation. And like, some, like, other people were just telling me, no, don't call the cops. And it angered me more and more, because it's just the fact that people wanted to stay quiet about it and let them deal with it. And I understand, like, the idea of, like, this girl got hit and she, you know, if I call the cops or whoever, like, or she could call the cops herself, and she's responsible for herself. Like, if she's okay being hit, like, that's her decision. But that's bullshit. Like, someone getting hurt and them staying quiet about getting hurt doesn't mean that it's okay for people who witness it or people who can stop it from happening at that moment should just let it be. Like, that's not okay. We have to speak up. We have to take care of our other fellow human beings. So I start calling the cops. And then one of the dudes is like, no, man, hey, I don't want the cops over here, blah, blah, it's my house, this and that. Other people are like, hey, you know, don't call the cops, you know, we want other people to hear and to get in trouble for other dumb stuff, whatever. And I'm like, yo, man, like, well, whatever the dumb stuff is, get rid of the dumb stuff and, like, just let that dude get in trouble for his stupid decision of hitting this chick. And then one of the dudes is like, yeah, well, you know, we don't know the full story. What if, like, she hit him and, you know, she pulled out a knife or whatever? First off, if anybody does anything to anyone, I don't care if it's a dude to a chick to a dude, anybody that does something wrong to another person should face the consequences of their actions. So if she was at fault for something, if I call the cops and dude gets in trouble, her boyfriend, but she did something wrong, then she deserves to get in trouble for whatever she did wrong. If she didn't, then whatever, obviously she gets away, and, you know, or not get away because she didn't do anything. But if she didn't do anything, then she's clear and he just faces his consequences. But whatever it is, like, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, just get him in trouble. Yeah, hopefully the cops come and they find out what happened, and then the justice is served at some point. And I know the justice system is flawed. One of the dudes started giving me that stupid argument, man, well, you know, the justice system doesn't always work, man, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, man, you're just trying to, like, not rat out your boy, not trying to, like, you're just letting it be okay, whatever. I don't care, whatever the reason is, man, it's wrong. It's wrong, and that should not be something that people are so casually okay with. And so, at some point, though, they ended up convincing me to let it go. They're just like, hey, you know, there are other things here. We don't want any drama, blah, blah. Everything I've already explained. I know I'm going on and on, but I'm just so frustrated and so mad about this situation. So I get to the point where I just accept that nobody's going to say a word. One girl said, call the cops. And I think it's because she went outside where the dude was and he tried getting crazy with her. So she was like even more like, hell no, call the cops. And so I was, at that point, I was like, okay, again, everybody, show me don't call the cops, don't call the cops. And so I just got pissed off and I just started walking out. Like, you know what, I'm leaving. And at that point, I was not gonna call the cops. I was just gonna walk away because I was pissed off that everybody was condoning this action. The girl, the other people, like, everybody staying quiet makes it okay. You're giving him a pass to continuously do the bullshit that he's doing. And so I'm walking out, and then, you know, I wasn't going to call the cops at all. I was just frustrated, and I knew I was going to be pissed for the entire night because I could have done something and I didn't. I started driving away, and I just started rationalizing more. You know, again, I was like, they convinced me not to call the cops because it's their thing and their thing, and she has the you know, the power to call the cops, and she wants to press charges, she can. But then I started thinking about, like, my dad used to hit my mom, and like I saw glimpses of it on occasion, but like I was so young, I didn't understand it. And just thinking about that fact of like my mom getting hit by my dad and her not you know, like calling the cops, or you know, getting him in trouble, making him face his consequences because she loved him, or for whatever the reason was, it could be embarrassment, etc. Like, just that thought of, if my mom was getting hurt, whether she wanted to or not, like, protect herself and call the cops, like, I would call the cops without hesitation, and I would not let my mom ever get hit again. So just thinking about that, yes, this chick is not my mom. Yes, you know, this chick is an adult, whatever. Like, no, it's not okay, and you can't let that keep happening to people, whether they want to or not. Yes, people are in charge of themselves, but if you see something that's wrong, like, put a stop to it. You don't have to get your hands dirty. At one point, one of the dudes was like, well, why don't you go fight him? Why don't you go fight him? And I already know what that is. That's not going to do a damn thing. Whether I knock this dude out, we get in a fight, he knocks me out, it doesn't matter. This dude is not going to learn his lesson. And yeah, maybe he won't learn his lesson through getting in trouble with the law, but I'll tell you what though, people don't want to have a record. People don't want to go to jail. People don't want all the nonsense that comes with all of that baggage of being in trouble with the law. So that is a bigger, like, reason for people to really check themselves. Again, whether you believe in the system or not, however you feel about the cops, etc., like, there are consequences that people will face with the law that are going to really try to, hopefully, keep them from making those same mistakes again. And again, aside from just this dude who hit the girl getting in trouble, it's for me, like, the idea of calling the cops is a message to all these people that were just staying quiet. No, it's not okay. And whether everybody disagrees with me, if some of these people were trying to call me a bitch, pussy, whatever, for calling the cops and this and that, I don't give a damn. Like, I did something. And whether you agree with me or not, you guys watching this, like, I am not going to let that girl get hurt more on my watch. If I'm there, like, I'm going to do something about it. Again, in a smart way, in a way that doesn't jeopardize yourself or jeopardize other people, but in a way that at least that's what the law's there for. You don't try to, you know, take care of people to stop stupid crime from happening. Sorry, I know I'm going a little bit, I'm rambling now. It's just so upsetting. It's just so upsetting that people were so okay with that. And I even before I left, I gave these guys the example, like, hey man, like, okay, so this chick decides not to press charges. This chick doesn't want to call the cops, like, so we should be okay with it. Then I gave them the example, okay, well, what if a girl got raped? What if a girl was here in this party and got raped, and she didn't want, a lot of girls or a lot of people get, you know, sexually assaulted and don't want to press charges and don't make a case out of it for a variety of reasons. Sometimes, you know, embarrassment. Sometimes they think people won't believe them, etc. Whatever it is, like, so if, let's just say that example happened and this chick didn't want to press charges or anything, like, are we going to just let it slide? And then the guys are like, no, well, that's different. That's different. No. I mean, it is different, obviously. But the idea of letting bad things happen to people, that's, you know, that's the core of it. That's not okay, and we can't let that happen. So I drove off. I called the cops. I don't care. You guys can watch this right here. People want to call me, you know, snitch, whatever. I don't give a damn. I'm not, you know, trying to play this, like, no snitch life. I'm about showing love to people. I'm about taking care of other human beings and being good to them. I show love. I show respect. And I never wish any harm on anybody. And if I see someone harming another person, I'll do my best to try to put a stop to it, because it's not okay. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what else to say to it. But just to this is just, please, people, like, if you are the one, you know, being hurt, or if you see other people being hurt, even if everybody's disagreeing with you, like, please don't let that happen. It's not okay. Like, you know, this dude, if he's hit her multiple times, like, what happened that one time when he just hits her too hard and she fucking dies? Sorry for cussing, but I'm just so upset. You know, or worse, other things that happened. Again, like, staying quiet gives people a pass. It lets people know they can get away with it. It lets people know that like, oh, whatever, you know, tomorrow will be another day. It's all good. Nah, man, like, it's not okay. So please, people, like, don't stay quiet. Don't stay quiet. I know sometimes it's easier. I know it's definitely easier, and, you know, you don't want to sometimes be dragged into the drama, the mess, whatever. Like, just, this to some people may not seem like a big thing, like in the grand scheme of bad things that happen to people, like, you know, someone getting hit and bleeding is maybe not a big deal to them, but things like this, like these little things, to some of you, like, allow the bigger things to happen, you know? And we as human beings need to take care of one another. And that's the point of this whole video is it's so upsetting. So luckily the cops did go and they detained some people. I don't know the details. I took off and I called the cops. I almost stayed quiet. I almost let these people convince me that I should just let it be. But no, like that would have been wrong of me because I could have done something. And, you know, this cliche phrase that is there for a reason, you know, there are two types of bad people. People that do bad things and people that allow bad things to happen to other people. So, you know, I didn't want to be a bad person in either one of those situations. So I felt I did what I had to do. That's what happened. Love you guys. Peace.